Deep within the endless rainforests of South America, there are places where sunlight struggles to reach the ground. Ancient trees stretch high into the sky, their roots twisting through the earth like the bones of the jungle itself. The air is thick with humidity. The sounds of insects echo constantly, and the forest seems alive with unseen movement. To outsiders, the jungle is simply wilderness. But to those who have lived beside it for generations, the forest is something far older and far more mysterious. The people who live along its edges have long believed that the jungle watches everything that enters it. And sometimes, it sends something back. For centuries, hunters returning from the forest have shared a strange and unsettling story. A story told quietly around fires late at night, when the wind moves through the trees and the jungle grows dark and silent. They speak of a woman who appears alone in the depths of the forest. She is said to be impossibly beautiful. Her long black hair falls down her back like flowing shadows, and her pale skin seems almost to glow beneath the faint light that slips through the leaves above. Her voice is soft, gentle, and filled with sadness. Some say she cries. Others say she simply stands between the trees, watching silently as travelers pass. At first, anyone who sees her believes the same thing. They believe she is lost. Perhaps a woman who wandered too far into the jungle, or someone abandoned and in need of help. And so, like any decent person would, they approach her. They call out to ask if she is all right. They offer to guide her back toward the villages that lie beyond the forest. But the woman rarely answers. Instead, she turns slowly and begins to walk deeper into the jungle. At first, her movements seem graceful, almost elegant. Her steps are quiet, her body gliding between the trees as if she has walked those paths her entire life. And every few moments, she glances back, just long enough for the person following her to catch another glimpse of her face. Another glimpse of that strange, haunting beauty. Something about her makes it impossible to stop watching. Something about her makes it impossible to turn away. And so the traveler continues to follow. Deeper and deeper. The jungle slowly begins to change around them. The familiar sounds of birds and animals begin to fade. The air grows still, heavy, and strangely quiet. Even the wind seems to disappear. But by the time the man following her begins to feel that something is wrong, he has already walked far beyond the places where anyone could hear him scream. The woman finally stops. She stands beneath the towering trees, her back turned, her dark hair moving slightly in the humid air. For a moment, everything becomes completely silent. Then she slowly turns to face him. And in that moment, the hunter realizes something that fills him with a deep and instinctive fear. The woman standing before him is not what she appeared to be. Something about her body is wrong. Something about the way she stands, the way she moves, the way the shadows gather around her. And then the moonlight slips through the branches above, revealing a truth that no one who has seen it has ever forgotten. Because the beautiful woman standing in the jungle is missing something. Where one leg should be, there is nothing. Only a single leg supports her body. Yet somehow she stands perfectly balanced, perfectly still, staring at the man who followed her into the forest. And slowly, very slowly, her smile begins to change. The man freezes where he stands. For a moment, his mind refuses to accept what his eyes are seeing. The woman before him is still beautiful, but something about her presence has changed. The air around her feels colder, heavier, as if the jungle itself has begun to hold its breath. She tilts her head slightly, studying him. Then she laughs. At first, the sound is soft, almost playful. But as the laughter grows louder, it begins to twist into something unnatural. The sweet voice that once sounded gentle now carries a sharp, hollow echo that bounces through the trees. The man takes a step back. And that is when he sees it clearly. Where her other leg should be, there is nothing but darkness beneath the folds of her torn dress. Only one powerful leg presses into the jungle floor, strong and perfectly balanced. Yet somehow she does not fall. She does not stumble. Instead, she begins to move. With a sudden motion, she leaps forward with terrifying speed, covering several meters in a single bound. Her body glides through the undergrowth almost effortlessly. faster than any wounded or crippled creature should ever be able to move. The man turns and runs. Branches snap beneath his feet as he crashes through the jungle, his breath tearing through his chest as panic takes hold. Behind him, he hears the sound of something moving through the trees. Not footsteps. Not quite. It is a strange, rhythmic thumping sound, followed by the scraping of claws against bark. He risks a glance over his shoulder, and what he sees nearly stops his heart. The woman is no longer moving slowly through the forest. She is chasing him, leaping from root to rock with monstrous strength, her long hair whipping wildly behind her, her face stretched into something that no longer resembles a human smile. Her mouth opens far wider than it should. Rows of jagged teeth glisten in the faint light filtering through the canopy. Her eyes burn with a hungry, predatory glow. And the sound she makes now is no longer laughter. It is a growl. Hunters who survived encounters like this would later say that Patasola does not simply chase her victims. She toys with them. She lets them believe they might escape. The man runs deeper into the jungle, desperate to find a path, a river, any sign of civilization. But the forest here is ancient and tangled, its twisting paths known only to those who have lived beside it for generations. The deeper he runs, the darker it becomes. And all the while, the sound behind him grows closer. Suddenly, the jungle goes silent again. The man slows, gasping for breath, his ears straining to hear anything moving in the darkness. For several seconds, there is nothing. Only the distant hum of insects. And then, a voice speaks behind him. Soft. Gentle. The same voice he heard when he first saw the woman. He turns slowly. There she stands again. But now she is no longer hiding what she truly is. Her beautiful face remains, but it is twisted by something cruel and ancient. Her skin appears pale and stretched. Her teeth long and sharp like those of a predator that has learned to wear a human face. She balances easily on her single powerful leg, her body swaying slightly as she watches him with patient amusement. Some legends say that long ago, Patasola was once a real woman. A woman who lived near the jungle centuries ago. In certain versions of the story, she betrayed her husband and was punished for her treachery. In others, she murdered the man she loved, driven by jealousy or rage. And for her crimes, the spirits of the jungle cursed her. They took one of her legs, binding her soul forever to the deepest parts of the forest. Condemned to wander alone. Condemned to hunger forever. Now she hunts those who enter her territory. Especially men who travel through the jungle alone. And once she reveals her true face, the hunt has already begun. Patasola slowly tilts her head again, her glowing eyes locked onto the terrified man before her. Her smile widens. And with a sudden, powerful leap, she launches herself toward him through the darkness of the jungle. The man barely has time to react. Patasola launches herself through the air with terrifying force, her single powerful leg propelling her forward like a predator that has hunted the jungle for centuries. Her claws tear through leaves and branches as she closes the distance in a matter of seconds. The man turns and runs again, stumbling through roots and fallen branches, desperation pushing him forward. His heart pounds so loudly that it nearly drowns out the sounds of the forest. Behind him, the creature laughs. The sound echoes between the trees, a chilling mixture of a woman's voice and something far more monstrous. It rises and falls like the cry of a predator enjoying the thrill of the hunt. For a brief moment, the man sees a faint glow ahead. Moonlight. The forest begins to thin, and he realizes he is nearing the edge of the jungle. Summoning the last of his strength, he forces himself forward, bursting through the final wall of trees and collapsing onto the open ground beyond. The jungle behind him falls silent. Slowly, trembling, he turns his head to look back toward the darkness he escaped. For several seconds, nothing moves. Only the wind rustles through the leaves. Then, deep within the shadows of the trees, he sees her. Patasola stands just inside the jungle, her pale figure half hidden by darkness. Her glowing eyes stare out from the forest, watching him quietly. She does not follow. The creature remains perfectly still, as if bound to the ancient wilderness that created her. After a moment, she slowly turns and disappears back into the shadows of the jungle. Hunters who have lived near these forests for generations say that the spirits of the jungle obey certain rules. La Patasola can hunt freely among the trees, where the ancient forest belongs to her. But beyond the jungle's edge, the world is no longer hers. Still, the legend has never faded. Even today, villagers who live near the great rainforests warn travelers never to wander alone after dark. They say the jungle can be deceptive, and the deeper one travels into its endless green maze, the easier it is to lose your way. And sometimes, late at night, hunters claim they still hear something strange echoing through the trees. The faint sound of a woman crying. A lonely voice calling for help somewhere deep in the darkness. To anyone unfamiliar with the legend, it might sound like someone lost in the jungle. Someone who needs rescuing. But those who know the story understand the danger hidden within that voice. Because the jungle is patient. And somewhere among its ancient trees, something still waits. A beautiful woman standing alone beneath the moonlight. Watching. Smiling. And waiting for the next traveler who is brave, or foolish enough, to follow her deeper into the forest. Where the legend of La Patasola still lives.